You're still watching Prime Morning. My name is Roslyn Felly. Of course, we started off with a conversation with regards to our food system, the safety of our food. Going to the restaurant, do you take into consideration how they prepare their food, what they're serving? Do you take all of that into consideration? We spoke about that earlier. And also the Onga Cook Arts, which is starting very soon. You cannot miss out on it. You need to watch it. Stay glued to your television and support your favorite school, your alma mater, I must say. If your alma mater is not part of it, you just, you know what, just celebrate your favorite school. But before we go into this segment, a happy birthday to you, Elizabeth Kosi Party of Lands Commission, Koforidia. This is coming from Benedicta Ewusi of GRA, Tema Community 2. She says, happy birthday to you. May God bless you, grant you all your heart desires. She's definitely going to be partying with you. So if you're cutting the cake today and she's not available, keep her. She'll come see you soon and party with you. But may God bless you and grant you all your heart desires. Enjoy your day, Elizabeth. Happy birthday to you from us here at Prime Morning as well. It's time for us to talk relationship, and I have with me a counselor who help us as women to hear our voice in our marriages. And the question here is abuse on the rise because women are silent? I remember having a conversation with someone somewhere last week, and the person said, we cannot look at the woman today as the same woman, you know, some time ago. The women today have a voice, but still abuse is going on. So is it the voice that is making the abuse go on, or is actually the voiceless that's making the abuse go on? My guest for today is Mami Sewa, who helps us and understand this particular topic. Welcome, Mami Sewa.
Thank you for having me.
How are you today?
Thank you.
It's good to have you here, though.
Thanks for having me.
Wow. Anyway, so we are talking about the whole submission issue, and we want to expatiate it. We don't want to limit it at all. But the whole thing of the voice of a woman in marriage.
That's right.
You know, we don't want to even take it too far. The voice of a woman in marriage. Now, the question here is, why is it that abuse is on the rise? Is it the women are too, vocal, or they're voiceless? What's causing it?
Well, the thing is, when we talk about abuse, abuse has been in existence for years. For years. And if I'm not afraid to say, I will say even in every religion, there is abuse. And even in Europe, the way that, we have the human rights, women's rights, and they have all the resources and the support, the counseling and everything, still abuse is on the rise. And if you look at statistics, it's mind-blowing, not in a good way, but it's not good. So when we talk about abuse, it's been in existence for a long time, and it looks like it has become part of our culture.
Abuse?
Yes, in certain way, because we've been brought up. Let's say when you've been brought up in Ghana and you've been naughty, your mom will tell you, wait till your dad gets home. So instantly, mom has given his voice to dad. You get what I mean?
Right.
Or you say, okay, wait till your elder brother comes in, and your elder brother will discipline you. So it means that mom is, from the start, bringing you up in the family, is giving her voice to the male figure in the family.
So it makes it that, we now know that the men are more powerful than the women.
Yes, they have voices in relationships or in families than we women. So when a child does something naughty, you as a woman, you have a voice, you are the mother. You need to instruct the child or discipline the child if need be. You don't wait for your husband to come to tell your husband to discipline your son or child.
But how does this cause abuse in a relationship?
When we talk about abuse comes in different forms. One thing that you will feel or accept it, I might not accept it. Maybe your husband or boyfriend slaps you. You feel it's normal. They love you, that's why they're slapping you. But maybe I come from a different background. I've been raised up or brought up to know that, when a man is being physically violent to you or emotional violence to you, all these things are abuse, and it's no, and you should not accept it.
But Mami Sewa, slapping, hitting alone is completely unacceptable.
Yes.
I'm just wondering who will be brought up in an environment where you feel that even if I'm being hit, I know psychologically some people, but it's wrong in every way, right?
It is wrong.
Yes.
It is wrong. And it has, it traumatizes the children in the family. It traumatizes the children and the family. So it's not acceptable at all, not in any form or shape.
And what about the psychological abuse, the emotional abuse as well? Now, my being voiceless, how does that cause, you know, me to be emotionally abused or psychologically abused?
The thing is, every person, you have your identity, you have your character, the way you do things, you know, that sums you up as who you are. And if you don't have the opportunity or the right environment to express yourself, you know, it minimizes your self-esteem. It gives you low self-esteem. You don't have the motivation to do whatever you want to do. You know, if you're in a relationship and your husband or your boyfriend call you names, oh, you too fat, you too this, you too that. Even when you've been given a designer wear, you will not see the value of it. You don't see the worth of it because you see yourself as worthless. So anything precious or valuable you've been given, you don't appreciate it.
Right. Now, let's talk about what voiceless really is, because some people will say, I'm very vocal in my relationship, but might not be as vocal as they think. So when we say somebody is voiceless, what are we looking at? What are the things that a person is not permitted to say that makes the person voiceless?
So when we talk about voiceless, it comes in different forms again. So it might mean that you are in a relationship and maybe in marriage and your husband is doing something to you that you're not pleased with it. You can shout and scream as much as you can, but the man will not see the significance in what you're doing. So although you are speaking, you're telling your mind, that's your voice, but it's not being heard because it's not making any impact or influence on your partner. So you're speaking, you're voicing things out, but it's not making any difference. So in that instance, you are being voiceless. Although you're saying it, it doesn't make any impact. And in other scenario, even your body language will speak a lot. You know, when we were children or even growing up, when you go out with your parents or even in your relationship, one look from your boyfriend or your look is someone, a lady is just trying to crash on your boyfriend. One look, wink, will sort things out. That's your voice. So you have to know your partner. You know what they like, what they don't like. And I know in Ghana, we're very religious. If you're a Christian, you're Muslim, you take everything in prayer, you seek counseling, your support network, your parents, your family, you know, you seek advice from them. And most especially things that we know as young women, we fail to do. When we're getting into a relationship, we want the men to be ours. We don't try to get more information from the man's family. How did the dad treated the mom? That's your mother-in-law to be or whatever. What are people saying around about this man? You know, how does he communicate? Because when you're in a relationship and you are courting, you guys are different. The voices, the tone of the voice and everything is different. But when you get into the real deal, after 6 months, that's when you begin to know the real person.
You feel whether you made a mistake or you made the right choice.
That's right.
Now let's talk about, you know, this whole submission. You know, you did make a point that you need to take everything to the Lord in prayer. Isn't this one of the reasons why most women are struggling in their relationships? Because there's a case whereby they're like, okay, I can't speak to my husband about this issue. I need to take it to the Lord in prayer. I need to take it to the Lord in prayer. Meanwhile, God has given you the voice to speak.
Yes, and you have to speak at the right time. You get what I mean? Let's say your husband, your partner just come back from work. They're hungry or they've had a very bad day. That's not when you start to tell them, you know, what you want them to listen.
Right.
As I said, you need to know the man. You need to know how to communicate to them. So whenever you speak, your voice or whatever you will say will make an impact or influence. It's not that when you compare like Europe to Ghana, you know, if we're talking about submission and taking everything in prayer, these Caucasians, most of them, they're not Christians, but they're still being abused. They have a voice, but they're still being abused.
Right.
So it's more about you, the woman, empowering yourself, know your self-worth. Back to what you were saying, submission. We have sub and then mission. When you read Ephesians chapter 5 verse 21, it says, submit to one another. Most times the preachers jump to verses 22 wives submit to your own husbands. But the first one says submit to one another. So in a relationship or in a marriage, the submission is both parties.
I'm wondering why the preachers jump.
They jump. Submit to one another.
So it's one another. It's not one side.
No. Submit to one another.
So can we actually say that the church is also part of the reasons why some of the women are voiceless?
Yes, it is. I remember I went through abusive marriage, and whenever I went to my pastor, he says, oh, it's because you are not submitting. He will not even listen to my voice and listen to what I was saying. I went with bruises and everything. He said, oh, mommy, you need to submit. He will not even sit down and listen, like, what happened? Listen to my voice. So you are right to say that sometimes religion plays a part in domestic abuse.
And when he said you are not submitting, what was he expecting you to do?
I don't know, my dear. He wouldn't even listen to me to hear my side of the story, to reason and say, okay, mommy, you didn't do well this side. So next time, do it this way. I'm going to talk to your husband. Nobody spoke to that man. Nobody.
Mommy, let me play naive here. When churches say submit, what are they expecting the woman to do? And they're clearing it as this is a submissive wife.
Submissive wife is more of like respect.
From the church?
Yes.
Perspective, okay.
You respect your husband, good or bad, you know, for better, for worse. You keep quiet. Be the godly woman who will never, you know, raise the voice against the husband. Respect in whatever decision that he makes. You need to keep quiet and then listen. But that's where the problem is. When you look at the word submission, sub is a part of a main thing, isn't it? Maybe subsets in maths or whatever. It's a small part of a larger portion. Mission is more of like an assignment that you need to do. So you, the woman going in, you're going to submit. You first need to know the mission of the man. He has the vision. So whenever you're going in a relationship with someone, ask the man, honey or babe, in the next 5 years, where do you see yourself? Because it's with the vision that you are going to submit under. Okay. You get what I mean?
So it doesn't mean that in that relationship, you have to keep quiet completely.
No. It's an assignment. It's submission. So there is a mission you're going to submit under.
Can you raise your voice if you're angry?
Why not? In a good way. As I said, you need to know the man and know how he communicates. So you do things at the right time, and that needs maturity and learning from other women.
But you know, someone out there will say, if you raise your voice at a man, that is when physical abuse comes in.
I don't think so. I remember part of my relationship, my ex-husband requested for a cup of tea. I was on my laptop doing my assignment. I left the laptop, made a cup of tea, and I gave it to him. He took a sip and then threw the tea on me, hot cup of tea on my face. And then he said that, don't you have common sense to put sugar in this tea? Did I raise my voice? No, I didn't. So it's not only raising your voice that will result into being abused.
If the person is an abusive person,
if the person is an abusive person, they are abusive.
No matter what you do.
No matter what. So it's you, the woman in that relationship. You need to gather yourself together and see your self-worth and know who you are. Value yourself and respect yourself.
How do I render respect to my partner in order not to be voiceless? Because some people out there also think that if I don't speak much, it's respect. So how do I speak but still come out as a respectful wife? Because I need my voice to be heard.
Good. You know, growing up, or even in our culture, we grew up with manners, saying please and thank you. And as I said, communicating at the right time. So you know the best time with your partner or with your boyfriend when to talk, when you communicate. You know, maybe over having a meal. You know, as a woman, you have to be very creative, you know, and use your woman power. And most times, you know, it has helped for me, I don't know with other women, just after, you know, having intercourse, when the atmosphere is relaxed, you know, you can have meaningful conversation if the man doesn't doze off quickly.
I like that. If he doesn't doze off quickly.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, when they feel really good, after 5-10 minutes, they're gone.
They're gone.
They're gone. They're gone.
But you see, people are of the opinion that when a woman is too vocal, the husband becomes very abusive. When the woman is too quiet, the husband becomes emotionally abusive. Now, where in the middle is okay? When is it okay? Because I know people out there are watching, they are wondering, when is it okay for me to say that, you know what, this time around, okay, I know you're saying every man, you know, who is abusive, no matter what you do, but some people are provoked as well. So when is it okay not to cross the line? When do you know that, okay, I'm done? I'll activate the phone lines for you at home to join the conversation. We are speaking about, you know, the voice of women in marriages. So if you want to join the conversation, the number will appear on the screen. Do call us. Let's get interactive during the segment. Yes, Mommy.
So then again, it depends on you, the individual, because every scenario is different. Every situation is different. You know how far you can take. You know how far you can go as a woman. You know, first instance, you create time with a man. If you think that, you know, things are escalating and you don't have any control over it, you feel like you're not being heard, no matter how you scream, no matter how quiet you have been, it's not going anywhere. You create a right opportunity. You go out for a meal at a suitable time, or you go out for a walk, and then you speak to your husband or your partner, whatever, and say, you know what, this is how I feel. We started this way. This is where we are now. I don't know how the future is going to go. So this is what I feel we should do. This is my suggestion. And you throw it to the man. What do you think about it? And see what he says.
How do we empower young women who are about to get married that if you go in there, this is it? What do we tell them?
Well, there is no even marriage in heaven. There is no marriage in heaven. And with the marriage certificate that you get, you can't apply for a job with it, can you? You can't. Marriage certificate. Even when your spouse passed away and you've done properties together, the family will be coming, fighting you left, right, center for the property, although you have a marriage certificate. So it's a piece of paper, excuse me if I say that. But you yourself as a young woman, as I said, submission is going under the authority or working hand in hand with a man who's got a vision, who's got a plan. So you have conversations like, oh, honey, what do you think about side chicks? Most times when I was younger, what I used to say is I create scenarios and then give it to my boyfriend and say, you know
Are you talking about side chicks with your husband or your boyfriend?
Your boyfriend? Before you get married, you said advice I would like to give to young women who are trying to get into marriage. So with your boyfriend, you create scenarios with them. Oh, I have a friend whose boyfriend has got side chicks, this. What do you think about it? And then you hear what they're saying.
Right.
You talk about domestic abuse. Oh, my friend's boyfriend did that and that and that to that person. What do you think about it? And then he will say, yeah, if you're a woman and you are very loud, you deserve a slap. Girl, he's going to slap you when you get into that marriage. So have conversations, different conversations. And I know most times you have these dramas and soap operas that's got domestic violence. Sit down with your boyfriend and watch and have discussions about it. Oh, I think this actor didn't do it. What do you think about it? And gather all those information. And when you get into marriage, you can get out.
Someone told me that if you should see, you know, how he reacts to other drivers on the road, you need to be careful.
That one is another level. It's another level.
You need to be like mindful. Immediately you hear him say, hey, if I got your eyes, you're like, hey, it could be you.
Well, we're all human. Even Jesus Christ, when he went into the temple, he was upset and then he had to beat and drive, you know, send the people out from the temple. You know, we're human. We get angry, we get upset, you know, we go over the limit that we shouldn't do. But at the end of the day, if the person does that, do they apologize? What steps do they take to make you know that they wouldn't do that again?
But you know, abusers are quick to apologize.
Very quick.
So in that instance, what did you do? Because these people who stay in abusive relationships will tell you that I only stayed because anytime he abuses me, he showers me with gifts, or he's always being so apologetic. So it's difficult for me to leave him.
Well, the next thing that will happen is you'll be in your coffin and he will be apologizing for killing you. That's the next thing that's going to happen. You'll be in that coffin and then he'll come apologizing for killing you. Is that what you want? And as a young woman, you know, you should strive to have a career, to be an independent woman. You know, I was on your sister station, Adom TV, last night with Tima, and we're talking about these things, how to survive. You know, you need to be career focused. If you go to school and you're not getting jobs, go for hairdressing, fashion designing, anything that can keep you going. I remember when I first went to UK, I was struggling to look for a job. I knew how to do these acrylic nails and, you know, eyebrows and stuff like that. That's what I started with, to look after myself and my family, until God opened the way for me to go to school and then get a career. So be a career woman. Listen to advice as a young woman in love, preparing to get into any relationship or marriage. Listen to your mothers. They know, they've got the experience, you know. Don't fall in love. You have to work in it.
Work in it, and don't be too dependent on a man.
That's it.
I think that one thing that makes more women voiceless is the whole financial aspect.
That's right.
You know, if you don't have money, you are voiceless. That's cashless is voiceless.
Cashless is voiceless too.
Yeah.
But then again, you have to be content with what you have. You can't afford iPhone 13 Pro Max. Why do you stress the boyfriend to give you? Maybe the boyfriend is using an Android phone, Samsung 20 or 10 or whatever. Be content with what you have. You want to go and buy human hair or whatever, you can't afford it. My dear, go natural.
Exactly.
No situation is permanent. Just live within your limits. You know, because sometimes a man feels, most men feel that, you know, when they put food in your mouth, they can shut your mouth whenever they want to, because they feed you. But if you're able to feed yourself, they will respect you. Don't go to them for anything. You
know, my mom told me this, you know, growing up, that you need to make sure that you're able to take good care of yourself, because
that's right.
It actually brings respect without effort.
That's right. Yeah, it will. They will respect you. Because if you're driving your Range Rover and your husband is whatever, you know, there will be respect.
You know, one thing, talking about the Range Rover, you know, sometimes you might not even be driving a Range Rover, but once you can afford even a small car,
that's right.
You know, he knows that if he should leave you, you are okay.
You are okay. You will survive on your own.
You will survive on your own.
And then again, we need to, as a young woman, you need to find like good support network around you. You know, friends that support you. If your friends are ringing alarm bells, like, you know what, look at these flag lights, listen to them. Don't be blindfolded with love.
But isn't friends an issue? Because sometimes the survival of your marriage is also, you know, based on the kind of friends you keep around. Because, you know, if you don't have any friends at all, sometimes you survive in your marriage.
Well, it depends. Everybody is different and how they've been brought up. But you choose your friends wisely. You know, let's say you were in your 20s. You go for friends who are 30s. Who've gotten married to their own husbands, who are entrepreneurs. You learn from them.
So what, singles should not befriend married, or married people should not befriend singles? Which is which? Because I get this thing before, if you're married, make sure your friends are all married. Is that supposed to be the case?
Exactly. Ideally, it should be. It should be, because they understand the language. They understand what marriage is about.
Okay.
You know, and then again, you don't talk too much. You just lean on them for support here and there. And the best thing that I always do, create scenarios. Oh, I have a friend who said the husband is doing this and that and that. They've asked me for advice. I don't really know. I'm not sure what to do. What do you think about it? You gather their mind. They will not come and say, oh, Mommy Sewa said this, that, and that. The husband is doing it. I asked for a friend. So why are you saying it's me?
Right. It's a wisdom, man.
You use wisdom.
Someone said marriage is supposed to be wisdom based.
It should be.
You don't go in there with your own strength.
You crash.
You crash.
You will crash, especially when children comes in. You will crash. And most times, the reason why most women stay in abusive relationship and being submissive is because of their children.
Right.
Where it shouldn't be, because it traumatizes them.
Unfortunately, my phone lines were not working, so the lines, of those of you who tried to call, you couldn't get through. This conversation has been very interesting. Unfortunately, people couldn't join the conversation. But then, my last question, when do I empower the young girl out there? I mean, my daughter. At what age should I start empowering my child to know that it's not about you going in there and you being voiceless? What are the things that she needs to do if she should find herself in marriage and to be respected and still be submissive to her husband?
You know, there is a saying that you can't pour from an empty cup. So you as a mother, you need to make sure that you're practicing what you preach. Because children are very observant, very, very observant. So you, the mother, you need to demonstrate the things that you want your child to learn. You know, these days, sometimes you see social media, you see little children doing makeups, trying to wear their mommy's heels and stuff like that. Mommy didn't tell them how to wear the heels or how to put the makeup on. They see mommy doing it, they put the wig back to front, and they're still going with their swag. You can't pour out from an empty cup. So as a mother, you need to empower yourself first before you empower your daughter.
Fantastic. I love that. Empower yourself first before you empower your daughter. You're a gospel musician?
Yes, I am.
Tell us a bit about your career before we go. Quick one.
Okay, so I'm a gospel musician based in UK, but Ghana is where I come from, so I visit very often. By God's grace, I'm married with blessed with three children.
You don't look it. Where's your tummy?
Well, I've got a 20-year-old girl. Yeah, my first daughter is 20 years. She's in uni. Here we say level 200. Yeah, she's in university and blessed with twin boys, 18.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
So I'm a gospel musician. I'm a social worker by profession, and I run my own recruitment agency alongside the job that I do, and with music ministry as well. I'm a philanthropist, author of the book, The Music Ministry, and there is an upcoming program. That's the reason why I'm here in Ghana, in Koforidua this Friday. We're gathering all the tertiary schools in Koforidua, 5 o'clock at Koforidua Senior High Technical School for a live praise and worship night on Friday. And on Sunday, 2 o'clock, is Reapers Assemblies of God, Koforidua, 2 o'clock. And there will be item 13 for both events. So everybody's invited to join us.
That's nice. I wish it was in a crowd. I would have been there. Unfortunately, I have a very packed weekend, so I can't come to Koforidua. But hey, my spirit will be backing you.
That's what I need.
Yes. So if somebody wants to follow your social, what's your social media handle? Yes.
So the name is Mami Sewa. With the Sewa, I have a H with it. So M-A-A-M-E, that's Mami. And the Sewa is S-E-R-W-A-H.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. And your music. So where can we get your music as well?
It's on all digital platforms.
All right.
It's Mami Sewa. The latest one is Mercy, and it's been showing on Joy Prime every morning. So I know that your viewers will be familiar with it.
They are. But
and I did this hairstyle for them to know that it's me.
It's you. But you have to sing a line for us before you go.
Okay.
So sing a line of Mercy for us.
Okay. Lord, I come before your presence. Yahweh, I know you hear my prayer. The Almighty Father, you did all to save me. When I call out your name, please hear my prayer.
Definitely, he will hear our prayer. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for
helping us in this journey. This relationship journey is not easy.
It's tough.
It's tough, but we'll get there.
We will.
Thank you so much for being here. All right, so for you at home that watch the show today, thank you so much for watching the show. We'll be back again tomorrow from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. I don't do this alone, you know that. I do this with the man KMJ and the beautiful MFA Adeti. My name is Rosalind Felly, and of course, there's a birthday wish. Let me do this before I go. So a glorious birthday to you, Prophet Albert Esihine Ejakwa, head pastor of Assemblies of God, Omega House Chapel International, founder and leader of Prophet Albert Esihine Ejakwa Ministries, that's PAAAM of Koforidua, from Odifo Yao Charles and Mami Sewa. Happy birthday. Oh, it's from you?
Yes, and my manager.
Happy birthday to you, Prophet Ejakwa. You know, I know him personally, actually. So happy birthday to you, Prophet Ejakwa. I saw your picture with that swag and your shades. Hey, go you. Hey. Anyway, so all of you, thank you so much for watching the show today. We are super grateful. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.